Date: December 14th, 2019. Location: Ridgepoint Distribution Center, Ohio. Missing person: Elias Eli Varon, age 32. Status: never found. Case summary. Every year, Ridgepoint Distribution hires seasonal workers to handle the massive holiday surge. Elias Varon wasn't new. He'd worked the last 2 winters and was known for being quiet, reliable, and always taking the worst shifts without complaining. On the night he vanished, the warehouse was understaffed due to a snowstorm. Only 7 employees were inside. The loading dock area had a temperature of about -3 Celsius, and the overhead doors had trouble closing properly because ice had built up around the tracks. At 2:18 a.m., Elias walked toward Dock 12 to check the pallet seal. He was supposed to return in under 2 minutes. He didn't come back. Story of the first person, coworker's account. I've worked night shift logistics for almost 10 years. I've seen people get injured, quit mid-shift, even fall asleep standing up, but I've never seen anything like what happened to Elias. That night felt wrong from the very beginning. The storm had hit so hard that the snow was stacking horizontally against the warehouse walls, almost like someone was pushing it. Our manager, Tom, kept saying we shouldn't even be open, but corporate wanted packages moving. Holiday numbers, you know how it is. We could hear the wind cutting through the metal siding every time the heaters shut off. It sounded like someone dragging a shovel along the exterior. At around 2 a.m., one of the trailer seals didn't match the intake manifest, so Tom sent Elias to check if the pallet was mislabeled or damaged. Dock 12 is on the far end of the loading bay, coldest area in the building. No cameras down there either. They never fixed that section after the remodel. I remember watching Elias grab his scanner, pull his hood up, and walk away. It was the last time anyone saw him. 5 minutes passed, then 10. At first we joked he probably found a pile of missorted toys and was hiding to take a break, but when Tom called him on the radio and got nothing except static, we knew something was wrong. We split up. I took docks 9 through 13. When I got there, the overhead door at dock 12 was open. Not all the way, just a few feet, enough for freezing air to pour in. Snow was blowing inside, forming a thin layer on the concrete. And there were footprints. Elias's boots had a carved sole pattern. Everyone recognized it. His footprints led out from the dry concrete onto the thin dusting of snow. But they didn't go far. They stopped exactly 3 feet outside the door. Just ended, like he took 3 steps and vanished. There were no return prints, no scuff marks, no sign of a struggle. Nothing. Just deep winter snow beyond that point, untouched. I called for the others. Tom arrived first, swearing under his breath. He kept asking if we were messing with him. We weren't. We tried pulling the door shut, but something was blocking it on the outside, like the track was jammed. The wind made the metal buck and groan. Then things got even weirder. We found Elias's handheld scanner lying on the ground near the door. The screen was cracked like someone had stepped on it. When Tom picked it up, the device pinged a final recorded scan. The timestamp, 2:19 a.m. Location, Dock 12, exterior. Description, unlisted trailer, no manifest ID. There was supposed to be no trailer scheduled at that dock that night. We rushed outside as far as we could stomach the cold, but the visibility was zero. Snow whipping in every direction, our flashlights barely reached past 5 feet. No trailer. No tire tracks. No footprints. No vehicle sounds. Just the loading dock door half open, blowing ice inside like a frozen mouth. We called security. They checked the entire perimeter. Nothing. Not a single disturbance in the snow beyond the 3 footprints. The police treated it like hyperthermia and disorientation. But explain this. His coat was still inside the warehouse. His lunchbox was untouched. He had no reason to go outside. No one heard the overhead door open. No trailer was logged arriving or leaving within 6 hours. And most unsettling, when they reviewed the exterior cameras from 2:15 to 2:25, every feed was pure static. Every single one. Corporate blamed the storm. We didn't. Post-incident, Elias's family pushed for a full investigation. Nothing came of it. The warehouse replaced the broken door track, installed new cameras, and quietly reassigned Dock 12 to overflow storage. Seasonal employees still whisper about that night. Some say Elias walked out into the storm and froze. But those of us who were there, we know something or someone came for him. And whatever it was, didn't leave footprints. Date, December 21, 2021. Location, Frostline Fulfillment Center, Employee Parking Lot B. Missing person, late December is the worst time of year to work at Frostline Fulfillment. Management calls it peak week, but workers call it the gauntlet. 12-hour shifts, no days off, non-stop holiday orders. Parking Lot B, used by seasonal hires, is poorly lit and requires a 4-minute walk to the building. Security requested better lighting for 2 years. Corporate never approved it. On December 21, at 12:47 a.m., Jamie scanned out and walked to his car alone. At 12:59 a.m., another employee found his keys on the asphalt, his driver's side door slightly open, and Jamie was gone. Story, first person, coworker narrative. We'd just finished a brutal shift, the kind where your hands ache from lifting, your back feels like it's made of wires, and your brain's just white noise. It was freezing, the type of cold that stings your teeth. The wind cut across the parking lot like it had a purpose. I had parked in Lot A that night, closer to the building, but I saw Jamie heading toward Lot B, hood up, shoulders hunched. He waved without turning around. That was the last normal moment. 10 minutes later, I was sitting in my car trying to warm it up when a woman from seasonal staging burst out of the building yelling for help. She kept pointing toward Lot B. I got out and ran. What we found didn't make sense. Jamie's backpack was torn open, not cut, torn, like somebody jerked it violently off him. His keys were on the ground, still attached to the clip he kept on his belt. His phone was face down on the asphalt, the screen spider-webbed, but still glowing with the flashlight app on. His car door was cracked open, interior light on. There were footprints, but not what you think. Jamie's prints walked straight toward his car, and then suddenly those prints turned sideways like he twisted sharply, then dragged like he was pulled backward. Then, about 8 feet from his car, his footprints just stopped. But there were other prints. 3 sets. Heavy men's boots, size 11 or 12 maybe. Fresh, deep, clean patterns. They surrounded the spot where Jamie's prints ended. No vehicle tracks, no tire marks, nothing, showing how they got in or out. Just 3 sets of boots approaching, and nothing leaving. Security came about 15 minutes later. They acted annoyed, like we were overreacting. One of them kept saying it was probably a scuffle between friends. but friends don't snatch someone silently in a nearly empty winter parking lot. Later, when the police arrived, we all had to give statements. I told them I heard something just before the woman ran out, calling for help. A metallic clank, like a door sliding shut. Not a car door, more industrial, like a truck door. But when we looked around, there were no trucks anywhere near the lot. Then, the weirdest part. Jamie had been wearing a red beanie all month, never took it off. His girlfriend gifted it to him. They found it 20 yards away, near the access road, frozen to the ground. Like someone dropped it in a puddle and it iced over almost instantly. But the temperature wasn't even that low. Corporate brought in a private security rep the next morning. They interviewed us again, asked the same questions, but with more emphasis on whether Jamie had personal issues, debt, enemies, basically trying to spin it on him. But everyone who knew Jamie knew the truth. He didn't walk away. He didn't run away. He didn't leave willingly. And whatever took him was fast, professional, quiet, coordinated. 3 men, 1 victim, 0 mistakes. The police combed the area for 2 days. Dogs picked up a scent, then lost it at the far edge of the lot, near the maintenance gate. And here's something they didn't tell the news. That maintenance gate, the lock was cut through clean. Not twisted, not smashed, cut. With something that made a perfectly smooth slice. Security swore the lock had been intact during the evening rounds. Whoever took Jamie came prepared. They knew where cameras were. They knew shift schedules. They knew which lot had the weakest lighting. They knew he'd be alone. And judging by the prints, they weren't improvising. Post-incident notes. Lot B's lights were upgraded 4 months later. Corporate added a new shuttle service for night shift workers. Police eventually classified Jamie as missing with suspicious circumstances. His family still believes he was targeted. Everyone on night shift does. Because after Jamie vanished, one of our co-workers, an older guy named Raymond, said something that I still can't get out of my head. He told us, "This isn't the first time someone has disappeared from that lot. It's just the first time they didn't cover it up." Holiday warehouse jobs come with long hours, low pay, and constant turnover. But Pinecrest had something worse, a pattern no one talked about. Every December, at least one seasonal worker simply didn't clock out. Seasonal hire number 427. Name, Danny Ruiz. Age, 19. Role, seasonal picker. Shift, 4 p.m. to midnight. Danny was a college student trying to save money during the break. Quiet, reliable, exactly the kind of worker managers never worry about. On December 18th, he clocked in as usual. CCTV shows him working normally until 11:36 p.m. Then something changes. He begins checking over his shoulder repeatedly. Not paranoid, more like confused. He asks a coworker, "Did someone call my name?" The coworker says, "No." There were only 6 people on the floor that night. Nobody reported speaking to him. Warehouse logs show unauthorized movement in Zone C between 11:20 and 11:50 p.m., a restricted area where expensive electronics were stored. Security camera in that zone picked up a silhouette, moving from shelf to shelf. Not a ghost, not a glitch. A tall male figure wearing company-issued reflective gear, but none of the 6 employees on shift matched his height or build. He never faces the camera. He keeps his hood up the whole time. His ID badge is turned backward. At 11:44 p.m., Danny walks past the entrance of Zone C. He slows down, steps backward, looks inside. Then, on camera, he clearly says, "Sir, we're closed on that side." No response. Danny enters the restricted zone. The door closes behind him. He is never seen walking out. At 12:07 a.m., the cleaning crew arrives. They find Danny's handheld scanner on the floor, his work gloves dropped mid-step, a small streak of black industrial grease on the shelf where he was last standing. No sign of a struggle, no damage, no emergency exit triggered. But the Zone C exit door, usually loud and heavy, didn't make a sound that night. The police later tested it. Perfectly functional. No reason for it to go silent. Security logs show an ID badge scanned out of the warehouse at 12:12 a.m., 6 minutes after Danny was last on camera. The problem? The badge used was Danny's. But external cameras prove Danny himself never left the building. The scanner recorded card 427, exit granted. His badge was found still clipped to his vest inside the warehouse, meaning someone else used his number, someone who knew how the system worked. Badge fraud requires internal access, knowledge of Danny's worker ID, physical proximity to him before he disappeared. This was no random incident. The warehouse has an old underground forklift path, a tunnel used years ago before the remodel. Most employees don't even know it exists. One end connects to Zone C. The other leads outside the main lot near a row of abandoned trailers. The tunnel door is supposed to stay locked at all times, but officers found the latch loosened by hand, not cut or forced, as if someone who'd used it before simply opened it again. No prints, no footprints, but the dust pattern shows fresh movement, someone walking through, carrying weight. A journalist later discovered that Pinecrest had 3 similar cases in the last decade. Seasonal workers, all under age 25, all vanished in December, all near Zone C, all during late-night shifts. None resolved. The warehouse changed ownership twice. Reports got lost. Different managers each year. Different excuses. But the pattern was identical. Someone had been selecting victims, quiet seasonal hires, working alone, at the end of their shift, when no one would notice until morning. People blamed the holiday stress, the long hours, the cold. But Danny didn't vanish because of any of those things. He disappeared because someone at Pinecrest knew the building better than everyone else. Its dead spots, its blind aisles, its forgotten exits. And because Danny made the mistake of being the only one who noticed a man who shouldn't have been there. Warehouses don't swallow people. Other people do.